Hello everybody, Guy with a Pen, and tonight I'm going to be showing you the process by which I draw my cartoon characters. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the style is that I use. Maybe y'all can decide for yourselves or something. It's a bit of manga, sort of. I'm not sure. Let's just get started. Another thing you're going to find out is I'm not good at drawing circles, especially on the first try. So I start really lightly, drawing a bunch of lines until it looks, or till it possesses some semblance of a circle. I don't draw them with noses, but I draw a bit of contour to the head. So I'll draw the eye line, where the contour is, something a bit like that. It's not too difficult. We'll draw a line straight across, about 2/3 of the way up from the base of the circle right here to the top here, and that'll be kind of my top eye line. Like, no part of the eye goes above that line at any time, and that's kind of midline for high raised eyebrows or something like that. Now, in between this part here and here, I'll draw my second eye line. It'll be kind of curved, indicating that he's looking downward or this way compared to where the drawing is. Go make his chin now. I come to maybe 3/5 or a little bit more than halfway from the side of the circle before I stop with this chin line. I start bringing it back up to make the chin where it blends into the neck. And about halfway from here to here is where I start my neck going down. It's a gentle curved line. You'll see I'm doing my lines very lightly, but I'll do the lines over and over and over on themselves again. Come back for the back of the neck, kind of tangent to the circle right here. This also works really good for the kind of hair that I draw. I usually draw it kind of spiky. So I'll come up from the back, make that little cowlick or tuft of hair that comes up in the back. Most people have them. That's just what I do for my characters. Up top. Now there's no real rhyme or reason to this next part. You just kind of draw what you feel like for the hair. You do want to kind of have some sort of idea of what the hair is going to look like, whether it's going to be spiky or well combed or something like that. But I hardly ever comb my hair, so that's just what my characters look like. Leave enough room for the ear too. You can see I left this really light so I can bring the ear around the back. Start here, almost like a jelly bean shape. Earlobe, bring it back to the head. This part can be kind of tricky. Very carefully bring the curved line a little bit inside the ear there. Bring it down to about there. Make that little bit that goes in front. Add a little bit of shading in there just to give it a better 3D look. I'm going to thicken the neck out just a little bit. Yeah, that dude's got a really long neck. We can clean that up later. Now, next part's the eyes. Now, the eyes, you can pretty much do whatever you want with that, but I'm going to show you the process that I do. I make a very gently curved line for the top part of the eye, about this much lower. I'll draw a line a little bit shorter, but starting at the same place here and stopping a bit short right there. And then bring another gently curved line, like that. In this part, you're not going to start at the ends of this line. You're going to start a little bit inward, maybe a 1/16 or a 1/20 of an inch. And that'll give the appearance of eyelids. The eyes are, I have a really cool way that I do the eyes. I start with a small circle. That's not the pupil, that's the part of the eye that's reflecting light from your light source, which apparently is coming from up here somewhere, and he's kind of looking, tilted his head down from it. Now comes the pupil. Kind of see what I did there. When you've got the line that you really want, you can go back and darken it. But before you darken anything, make sure you've got the lines in place that you want to keep. So I like the hair the way it is. I'll come back to the eye in just a second. Okay, now back to the eye. Draw another circle inside it. If you're going to offset the inside circle from the outside circle, just take your time and make it as even as possible. Darken it solid black no matter what the eye color is. Now for eye color, if you're just doing black and white, if you want to indicate a lighter eye like a baby blue color eye or a very icy green color eye, you want to make your lines farther apart when you draw out from the center of the pupil. And that would indicate a lighter shaded eye. If you want it darker like brown eyes or dark green or dark blue, you just put more lines in there. Not too bad. So for the next eye, you're going to make it shorter. You're giving the feeling of perspective. Like if this was a center line in between his eyes for his face, the other one is not going to be touching over here quite, but it can't be touching here either. So you can tell it's going to have to be shorter. That gives it a really nice 3D blending effect. So just kind of repeat the process for the other eye, except these top and bottom lines will be a lot shorter. Curve line here. Okay. And try to make your reflection line the same place roughly in this eye as it was in the other one. And we're about right there. And the same thing goes for the pupil. You want to get the pupils looking the same direction if you can. Pupil in the middle. Sure, keep inside your line as evenly as you can. And just draw these little lines out from the pupil. Looks pretty good. And this is just something I do. It's just 4 or 5 lines underneath the eye. I don't know how I got started into doing that, but I kind of like the look it gave my characters, so I'll keep doing that. I do eyebrows a variety of ways. One of my favorite is make a flat line in the front, go across the back, and dip it down. Make a triangular shape on top, break down to a point in the back. And I like the one eyebrow raised look, so I'll draw the other eyebrow touching this eye here, indicate that it's a lot lower than this one here. Bring it down, cut across, and that looks good. Once you got a line that you like, you can darken it, like I've probably said 100 times in this video. Okay, it looks good. Now for the mouth, you can do whatever you want with the mouth basically. I'm going to try making just a gentle smile, sort of. You can see the center line for his face is right here. It'd be kind of hard to see from where you're at. But I'll start a little bit to the left of that with the mouth. And bring it up like that. Pretty good. Now, if you wanted him to have blonde hair or yellow hair or very, very light brown hair, you could leave it like this. But just for the video, I'm going to make it dark hair. 45-degree hatching is what I use. It's just a series of roughly 45-degree slanted lines. And I use that instead of just straight up shading. The secret here is just very lightly touching the paper if you're using a pen. If you're using a pencil, you could just color it in and erase it all off, or rub it with your thumb or something like that. You can shade it in that way. But if you're working with just a pen like I am, you have to be really careful when you're putting your hatching marks in there that you don't go too dark. And something else I like to do, I like to make a reflection line so his hair is kind of shining. So I'll stop the lines about there. So you can see a kind of line there. Come down a little bit, have my other line here somewhere. So I won't pass that with the next set of hatching. Perfect. Now, with dark hair, with whatever hair color you're using, generally you want to keep your eyebrows just a little bit darker if you're using my drawing style. So same 45-degree hatching, just a lot closer, and you can push down with the pen a bit too. Perfect. across his shoulders, neck of his t-shirt. And shade the t-shirt a little bit. My kind of drawing style, it's not difficult. All it takes is just a little bit of patience. Now, something you might not know about me is I'm a very impatient person. So I took up drawing, and a lot of this didn't make any sense to me. But until I could learn to just slow down and take my time, even if it seemed kind of childish, like I shouldn't be taking so much time drawing a line, it pays off in the end. Make sure you sign your drawings with your name and the date so you can keep track of your progress. And that's it. It's that simple.